telling you what, would have been some plates flying, would have been a food fight up in there. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be yet another movie review, and actually this one was requested. I recently received a comment under my movie review for the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Somebody asked if I was still doing movie reviews, and I let them know that yes, and I have several on my channel, and they requested that I do a review on the movie Soul Food. And so I said yes, of course I will do a review on that, and I was so excited to actually get a request. Matter of fact, if you ever come across any movies or TV shows that you want me to review, don't hesitate to comment on any of my videos and ask if I could create a video doing a review on it. And also you can check me out on Instagram. My Instagram is everythingtush on IG. I'll leave the link in the description box, and you can leave me a comment on there and ask me to do a video. And yeah, I'll try to do those reviews for you guys. I love your suggestions. I'm always wondering what type of content you guys like. I know I have a variety of different content, but yes, I love your suggestions, so yeah, keep it rolling in. So the movie Soul Food came out in the 90s, and it was executive produced by Babyface, and I watched it back in the day as a child, but I just figured I'd give it a rewatch now as an adult. As a matter of fact, I was thinking of doing a series like that where I rewatch movies that I watched when I was a kid and rewatch them now as an adult and get my perspective now, you know, and see if I still enjoy them. So yeah, I rewatched the movie. As you can see, I actually own a copy of the DVD, and I picked this up from Walmart. It was like less than $4. You know how they had the little movie bins and stuff. So yeah, this is definitely something that I wanted to add to my collection, because I feel like it's kind of like, it's a classic. A lot of us have enjoyed this movie, and it has like a stellar cast. It has Vanessa L. Williams, Vivica A. Fox, Nia Long. They're starring in the movie. There are periods in the movie where I was boohoo crying. Even rewatching it, I was like, I've already seen this movie, why am I crying? But it still has some tear-jerker moments and some funny parts as well. The movie is centered around Big Mama, which is Mother Joe. She's an elderly woman, elderly black woman. She has 3 daughters, and this movie is centered around their family. Their family is very close-knit, and they always make sure they have Sunday dinner together at the big house. That's what they call the house that they grew up in, the big house. They all come together, bring their families, their spouses, and even the pastor. They come and they eat Sunday dinners. And Sunday dinner consists of soul food, where you have fried chicken, lima beans, green beans, fried catfish, got cornbread, collard greens, you name it. What I like about soul food is that this movie is told from the eyes of a child named Ahmad, who is Big Mama's grandchild. Now this child, he sees everything, you know what I'm saying, like a little kid and grown folk business. It ain't necessarily the fact that Ahmad is nosy. It's just that things just be happening and Ahmad just be there. And so we don't really see too much of like Ahmad's personal life, but we see the lives of the adults around Ahmad. The movie opens up with Bird getting married to Lim, and we see it's a big celebration. Everybody's getting rowdy, everybody getting drunk, everybody just hyped and excited. Big Mama's on the dance floor and everything. And so you know that this movie about to be going left, because you see Bird, she's in her wedding dress, and then this fine light-skinned man comes up in there. He's putting money up in her bosom area, and we're like, what the girl couldn't find out that's one of her ex. And I'm like, what the girl, why's her ex at the wedding? And then you look over at her husband Liam. He ain't even paying attention, because he got a little hoochie mama with a barely there dress on, backing that thing up on him. What the world? It was just ratchet. It's just ratchet. Oh my goodness. And then I'm like, it's old folks there on the dance floor as well. And Big Mama is like clutching her pearls. Like, oh my gosh, she tells the little baby to go and get his Aunt Bird, because you know her husband out there just going willy-nilly. Aunt Bird goes and peeps what's going on, and she like, I'm supposed to be happy. This is my wedding day. Look at this hoochie. Da, 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 da. Then she goes, she tell her sisters, and her sisters is about that life. They're like, okay, let's go beat that trick down. And I'm like, yes. But then they go out there and Big Mama, she done diverted the situation. Now she dancing with Lamb and everything. I'm like, Lord, that hoochie, she must have been touched by Angel, because I was ready for her wig to get snatched. Everybody gathers to Big Mama's house for Sunday dinner, and Big Mama tells the family like, oh, I done dreamt about fish, and we all know what that means. Well, like in our culture, I think this may be a cultural thing. I've heard a lot of elderly people say that, you know, when they dream of fish, that means that somebody's pregnant. Well, in the movie they say it means somebody's pregnant or somebody's coming. And Cousin Faith, she blows into town, and she's someone that Big Mama helped raise. And Faith, she's just a shady, she got a lot of mess with her. She did a lot of shady stuff, and then she was a former dancer. She's just kind of like a free spirit, never really had her head on straight. So everybody looking like, what Faith got up her sleeve. But before they can even figure her out, then Maxine ends up going into labor, child. Bird and her husband Lim, they're trying to get adjusted to newlywed life, I would say. You know, they don't even have a place of their own. They live in at Big Mama's house until they get on their feet. Bird just opened up her beauty salon with the help of her sister, you know, financing that. Then Lim struggling to get a job, being an ex-felon and all. And like I said, they're still trying to get adjusted. So Bird probably doesn't really know the rules of married life. It's like you don't involve people in your issues. Once she figures out that, you know, her husband's having problems trying to secure a stable position, she reaches back out to her ex that's a sleazy slime ball. Gets into her husband. I'm like, girl, no. Cause a man like that, he gonna want something from you. And then once her husband Lim finds out, all heck break loose. And I'm telling you, I love that scene where he checked, oh boy, he beat him down at the job. He had it coming, calling his wife Cola. How you gonna be calling somebody wife Cola? So yeah, cause she got a body shaped like Coca-Cola. Excuse me, don't the man want to hear that? Oh man, that scene when Lim enters the beauty shop and he slams the door and the glass breaks behind him. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was there. Like, oh my God. I remember the first time I saw that thing. I said, ooh, he about to set the whole place on fire. Oh, he snatched Bird up, pulled her to the back. Oh man. And then everybody thinking that he done roughed her up and called her sister. Then her sister called them boys. You know, I think a lot of us, we got, you know, a cousin or a family member that, you know, when some stuff pop off, all we got to do is make that one call. And they ain't got no problem with doing what they need to do to make sure business is handled. You know, they been in and out the slammer. It ain't no new thing for them. So yeah, that's what ended up popping off. But, you know, Lim is about that life, and he had that thing on him. They wasn't expecting that. He ends up back in the joint. Oh my goodness. I'm like, gosh, every time a black man's trying to do something right, it's just like the cards are just stacked up against him. And I really like Lim's character. He was rough around the edges, but he really cared about his family. And he even tried to drop some pearls of wisdom on little Ahmad. You know what I'm saying? He was taking his uncle duties very seriously. Terry up here trying to save the day when she should be worried about her husband. Her husband basically begging her to pay him some attention, to go to his shows and, you know, just support him in his dream. But no, she just got a nag and she's very condescending. She had a very condescending attitude. And I tell you what, Vanessa L. Williams, she played that character. Yes, she did. But honey, she done drove her husband, you know, over there into Cousin Faith's arms. Cousin Faith had her hand out like that, and she done snatched that lady. Her husband had him banging her up against the window. Oh man, I can't lie though. I don't see how Terry, you know, she walked up in that house and she seen through the window. She saw Miles and Faith getting down. I don't see how she was just able to turn the mod around and leave out the house and keep her composure, because I probably would have tried to break through the glass. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. And then later on that night when she seen them at the party, you know, she was just crying to herself in the kitchen, you know, trying to keep her distance and stuff. She did the darn thing. She did a good job trying to keep it all together, you know. Then the family come in trying to figure out what's going on with her and stuff, and then she said that iconic iconic line, I let the family in my house, and you know what the family did? The family, my husband. Ooh, she pulled that butcher knife out on Miles.
Can we talk about what?
I don't know how he got away from that thing. I mean, that knife, he was running for his life. They knew they was wrong too. Right after they finished bumping uglies, they were both looking like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Face all colored into the corner and stuff. You know, I never noticed that before when I was younger. I never noticed that right after they had that passionate love scene, that they were like, oh man, what did we just do? You know what I'm saying? Because Faith, I admit she was a little seductress, but I don't think her intention was ever to steal that woman's husband. And I also want to know more of Cousin Faith's backstory, knowing that she lost her mother and she probably didn't really feel a part of the family. She probably felt like a black sheep all of her life, and then, you know, being the type of person that never stayed still, she was always on the move and stuff. I was wondering what that was all about, and as far as her being a dancer and stuff like that, what led her to do that? Was she abused or something, you know, when she was younger? Who knows? Maybe that's one of the reasons why she acted the way she did. She was very impulsive, very passionate. And on the other side, Miles, I don't think that he ever intentionally meant to cheat on his wife. I don't think he set out to do that. But like I said, him and his wife, they were just in a rough patch, and instead of sitting down and communicating and focusing on themselves, his wife, she was very focused on her family and the issues that they were having and then he was more focused on his career and just probably feeling a little demasculated in that situation, because honey, those sisters, they were some strong sisters. You know what I'm saying? It takes a very special kind of man to stand beside some strong women like that, because you can feel like they're chopping you at the knees. But yes, I don't think that he ever intentionally meant to cheat on his wife, but you know what I'm saying, he should have definitely set boundaries. Maxine was a strong one. Big Mama always talked about how strong she was, and she was like the role model for the rest of the girls. As far as she was the one with the husband, and she was the one with the kids. She was the one that could cook. The rest of them, I mean, they really couldn't cook like she could cook. And her and Kenny, they were so cute together. After all those years, they still had that flame. That was really nice to see. And then when they flashed back in time and they showed that Kenny was actually with Terry at first, and then Maxine stole Kenny from Terry, I was like, ooh, I can only imagine how Terry felt. Like, damn, these trifling hussies in my own family done stole my men. Like, that has to like mess with your psyche, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have had to slap them every time I saw them, like just off GP, just Big Mama ends up passing away, and you know, there's always been this rumor that Big Mama had some money stashed away, and nobody had proof, but that's just something that people had always said. Their little Ahmad, he gets the bright idea to bring the family together by lying to the adults and saying that Big Mama left the money to him and it's at the house, and he wanted, you know, each one of them to come and up him get the money. Oh my goodness, now them folks won't dealing with each other. Everybody scattered to the wind. But once they hear about them dollars, they like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go to Big Mama's house. You know, Terry wanting to sell the big house and all that stuff, but she gonna go to the big house because there's some money there. Then they find out the little Ahmad done tricked them. But by that time, the soul food cooking, and it done brought everybody together. They sit down at the table to eat, and then the shit hits the fan once Lim's out the slammer, and they talking, and they're like, yeah, so how'd you get out of jail? And then come to find out, Terry done pulled some strings to get him out of jail. Was she the reason why he was there in the first place? They going at it, and then Bird just had to be petty, talking about some Terry should have been worried about her own men and satisfying him and stuff, and then Faith wouldn't have had to step in. And I was just like, Oh Lord, yeah, Bird wanted all the smoke. Bird wanted all the smoke. And I'm telling you what, would have been some plates flying, would have been a food fight up in there, cause ain't no way. And then they bring little Ahmad in, and he's sitting there crying, like, I was just trying to bring y'all together. That's what Big Mama was trying to tell me before she died. And he done about burnt the house down by leaving the rag on the freaking stove. That was just crazy. And come to find out, Big Mama actually did leave some money. I know Big Mama was just up in heaven just looking down laughing at them fools. But yeah, I think that this movie was just showing that, you know, lots of families have their skeletons, they have their drama, they have their beef and all of that. But at the end of the day, we all come together when it's time. We're always there to lend a helping hand when needed. Like, you can call on me. You know how people say, like, oh, I had this family member and I can't stand them, but you better not touch them, you better not mess with them, cause they mine. And that definitely resonates with me, cause I got a few of them where I say the same thing. I can't stand them, I don't talk to them, blah blah blah. But don't you ever mess with my family, and if they ever need me, I'll be there. So yeah, if you haven't watched Soul Food, I definitely suggest that you give it a watch. And it was actually turned into a TV show that aired years ago. I think in the early 2000s, maybe it was when it was turned into a television show. And the television show was actually really good too. I can't say that I watched it consistently, but the times that I did see a few episodes, I really enjoyed it. And also the soundtrack to this movie is really great as well. I mean, Babyface produced the soundtrack, so I mean, what can you expect? It's legendary. If you haven't checked out the soundtrack, make sure you do that too. And the cool thing about this DVD is that it actually includes some recipes like different soul food dishes. So I had to go back and I'm probably gonna look at some of those recipes, because I got a few things that I may want to cook up one Sunday, or maybe, you know, the holidays too. Might add it to my little recipe tin. Yeah, it's a classic movie. If you're trying to start a DVD collection, this is definitely one of the ones that I would suggest. Well, you guys, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If so, hit the thumbs up button and drop down in the comment section and let me know if you've seen Soul Food and what are some of your favorite scenes in the movie.